Right, we are back with another resin art video that many of you would have seen way back at the beginning of the channel. This is going to be a reflection video. This is going to be a kind of going back to the beginning, explaining a lot of stuff that you kind of don't know about me and the channel. It's going to be really hard to talk about. I don't normally talk about this kind of stuff. You're here for the art, but I want to explain the journey. It's not all been an easy ride. I don't want this to be a comparison to anybody else's. You know, we all deal with things differently. A lot of people have had it a lot worse than what I have and still have. You know, it's not about that. So don't come at me in the comments and say, you've had it easy, really. You know, we all deal with things differently. We all cope differently. This is just an explanation of kind of how the channel come about to where it is now and the struggles behind it, really, specifically personal stuff. So I will be talking about things that some viewers may find disturbing, upsetting. Just a disclaimer, I don't mean to upset anybody. I know a lot of people that watch the channel really do care. It's more of a kind of explanation. Many of you have followed me from the beginning, way back, you know, to that first video. Hi everyone, first video with my voice, but I've got no kind of camera equipment or tripods either, so forgive the shaking. Just going through the comments of that first video, there's people, viewers that still comment today, and you know, this is a massive shout out to you guys as well. Without you, we wouldn't have gone from that video to where we are now. I'm going to try and hold it together. Again, there are going to be some upsetting things that I talk about. It is important. At the same time, you're here for the art. You're not here to listen to stuff about me. But again, this is the kind of journey that this channel has gone through. The goods and the bads to where we are now. So it is currently Friday the 31st of May. We are currently 96 subs away from 100k. So when it comes to demolding these pieces, I should, in theory, hopefully, have hit 100k whilst you're watching this. So thank you very much to each and every single one of you. So which one do we start with? We're going to go for one of these. I'm going to put that down because I'm shaking, because I'm nervous. And we're also going to see some snippets like you just saw. You know, it's from where I began to now, none of this could have been done without you guys. Obviously, home life, my family have been a massive support to me throughout this. They've had to put up with so much crap from me through my journey. But I won't talk about the home life stuff. They know what they've done. They know how they've supported me. This is about us and the channel and you guys. So as you've just seen from that snippet, we are going back to the fire wisp, I used to call it. It's just Petri art. It's just the feathering effect, but in the form of fire. So we are using, this time round, I've got my name on the box. It's pretty incredible, isn't it, from then to now. So we are going to be using the Lex Resin Daniel Cooper collab resin for this. We are also going to be using, if I can find them, the Lex Resin 26 ink alcohol ink set. Let's get mixing. So basically, at the end of 2020 coming into 2021, I was working, but we were obviously, we had the pandemic, we had COVID, and I saw a post online somewhere, I can't even remember, it was that long ago, and due to the stuff that I'm going to talk about, has had some impact on my memory in some way. And it was a piece of resin art, and I thought to myself, I really want to try this. And I think that's what happened, is that during COVID and the lockdowns, obviously people were at home more. So crafting in general really boomed, especially in the US. And I was just messing around with certain things, and Petri was already a thing. We had channels like Miriam's Nature doing Petri. We had lots of different channels doing certain forms of Petri. There was another big channel at the time doing it with pigment pastes, feathering effect. And I was playing around with alcohol inks, and one evening I'd had a few drinks, and I thought to myself, well, what would happen if I was to stir my resin after, I think it was an hour or so. And the next morning I woke up, I'd completely forgotten about what I did, and then remembered, and then rushed to demold them, and the most stunning piece I've ever seen in my life. And I know I was very new to resin, so to say something like that anyway was quite but what I did is I posted it on some Facebook groups, and it kind of blew up instantly. Facebook groups they're a lot quieter now than what they were, especially resin groups were really kind of busy groups during that period, because like I said, a lot of people were crafting, and it blew up, and it was noticed even by bigger channels. And yeah, so from the beginning I was I had to then upload my content, because I was worried that, it's in a selfish way, that the limelight was going to be taken away from me. Let's try one of the tiny ones. So that kind of forced me. I wasn't ready mentally for what was ahead of me. I really wasn't. I was struggling at the time, and especially with the drinking. I was drinking quite heavily at the time. It was a kind of a relapse period in my life. So I hit rock bottom a few years before that. I lost my mum due to cancer, and I was drinking a litre of vodka a day at that stage. Kind of really rock bottom moment of my life. And again, don't hit the comments with, oh, so sorry to hear this, Dan. It's not about that. It's just about the journey. I've dealt with it. And yeah, so I was drinking at the time, and my anxiety and depression were really bad. And obviously drinking, when you've got those issues anyway, just elevates everything and makes everything a lot worse. But it was my way of medicating. It was my way of coping. It was my way of dealing with the issues that I had personally. So it was self-medicating. I couldn't sleep without it. I couldn't function without it. I wasn't as bad as 1 litre of vodka a day at that stage. It was a relapse. It was normally like a bottle of wine every evening. So yeah, that was the beginning, and it was really hard. And I kept making videos, and I wasn't really dealing with the personal stuff. So looking back at those videos now and seeing how bad and how shaky I was and how nervous I was, but what happened is you guys. What happened is you kept showing up, and you kept showing support, and you kept pushing me further and further to creating more resin videos. And COVID kind of finished, and I went back to work to find out that I was being made redundant. I was still drinking at the time, still struggling. And that kind of really had a bad impact on me, because the channel was still new. I wasn't earning enough money from it to be able to transition to a full-time job. And I was on the borderline of hitting rock bottom, but I had to keep showing up. I had to keep doing something, because I'd never really had anything in life growing up that I could call mine, in theory, apart from family stuff, but work related. I'd always worked for people. I'd never really done my own thing, and I'm not very good at working for myself at the moment. I'm really bad. I wanted this to work, and you guys just kept pushing me, and I touched on the anxiety and depression a couple of times, and again, you guys were just incredible in the comments, just so supportive, and you explained your circumstances as well, and you know, we're not alone. we've all got our problems, our issues, our anxieties, our depressions, our disabilities, our ways of coping. You know, it's just this is the first time that I've spoken about kind of me. I don't even know whether I'm gonna just stop recording and upload this. I don't know. Yeah, so only a couple of years ago, really. Well, was it last year? I went through some therapy for PTSD. I've never really been diagnosed with PTSD. I always thought it was just the anxiety and depression. You know, tried several medications, but again, when you're drinking, medications don't really work. But I finally woke up one day and thought, that's it. I can't continue. I've been mixing this resin for a long time now. I finally got round to pouring it. I had to be careful because I was so busy talking about stuff that, you know, I didn't want to flash cure. I just suddenly remembered what I was doing. So yeah, I was treated for PTSD, and it was a long wait. I had to wait about 7 months for my first therapy session, but I decided that I had to go into this and deal with it finally, because I'd gone through therapy several times before, but I always rushed it just to say, you know, I'm okay. I've dealt with it, but I never really did. So I decided that I had to give up the drinking before I started the therapy, and it really did help hugely and massively. My headspace, my head just changed. It was like a switch. It's like I could then focus a lot more. I was more productive. I was improving in home life. I was a nightmare at home before. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was so self-centered, and you know, it was like everybody had to be soft around me, and I was so sensitive to anything. I still struggle now, you know, especially with traveling and stuff like that. I still, my brain tends to focus on the negative stuff a lot more than the positive still. But I am still on that journey, you know. That's what all this is about. This is why I say on my channel, follow me through my journey. It's not all about this as well. Is a way of coping. This for not, again, just not me, not just for me. It's, you know, art in itself is a way of coping for many artists. And you would have seen recently the professor come out of the closet.
Hello? Is it working?
Yeah, I've already hit record.
Hello?
I mean, that for example, that professor, that is me. I lock myself away, and sometimes you'll see just boring and dull videos, because sometimes I doubt myself too much. So the professor is basically in the cupboard. That is me.
I have helped this man who locks me in the cupboard. It's a very small cupboard.
That's the fun me. That's the exciting me. That's the me that hopefully I can bring out a lot more. You know, when we reflect back to, say, this video in another 3 years, we may see things progress even more, but I'll still try and keep it in the same kind of formats. But we have to just keep pushing through. I could have just carried on doing what I was doing and just probably failed at everything.
I will not go back in the cupboard.
Look, let's just see how many people like you first. Then we'll go from there. But I knew I had to keep pushing. I had to keep trying. And there was an expectation of me to keep showing up. And even on my worst days, where I could have been crying and rocking somewhere all day, scared to upload another video, I made sure I did. Some of you may have seen on my Discord a few weeks ago, kind of been struggling with my mental health. On new meds now, so new year, let's just try and leave that behind and let's crack on. As hard as it was to keep showing up, I had to, for my own mental sake, and to make this work. So we are going with just a 2-colour combo. Whoa, nearly dropped it in the resin. The red and the yellow. And of course we need our Sinker White, which is the Let's Resin C Deeper. I just use mine in this big bottle. So yeah, it's not all easy. Some people think that, oh, you know, they've got 100,000 subs on YouTube, they've got it really easy. It's their job. They can work and have fun at the same time. They must be earning lots of money from brand deals and, you know, from views. It's not that simple, guys. It's really not. There's a lot of struggles that go on behind the scenes. You know, some days I still wake up and I just think I can't do it. I just can't do it today. But I have to. I've got a studio that I have to pay for. I have bills to pay. This is my full-time job. There's no kind of, I have to keep showing up and keep doing what I'm doing. This, you know, I know you love the experiments. I love the experiments. But again, they're really hard, you know. So many comments. Dan, how do you sleep at night? Dan, how do you keep coming up with this? It's not easy, guys. Trying to think of different things. I mean, we've smashed some incredible new ways to work with resin on this channel. Baby lotion. But that just goes to show how cool with just some stencils and some baby lotion. You know, PVA glue. Absolutely mind-blowing. It's not my kind of thing, dipping resin, but it could be now. We've done so much and we're only scratching the surface. We really are. There is so much more to come. And of course, it's not just you guys. The companies that I've worked with, absolutely incredible support from the companies that I've worked with. They've been absolutely amazing. Touching on just simple things that you wouldn't even have known or thought about, but I think about it constantly. Things like using isopropyl alcohol. It's 99.9% alcohol. The smell of it takes me back to drinking, and I have to use this stuff every day. I had to go to weekly sessions for the drinking every single Friday throughout most of this channel's life. I haven't been for a while because I'm kind of okay. When I went to Makers with Claire and Wendy, there were a few instances where I just wanted to enjoy myself and get involved with the partying side of it. But I controlled it, and Claire and Wendy kept saying, no, Daniel, you don't want to do it, don't do it, don't do it. So it's controllable. But there is that side that I could be working with my isopropyl and I instantly get a flashback. So little things like that you wouldn't normally think about. You know, just alcohol inks. The name, you know, it's all in the name, isn't it? So it's a daily struggle. It is a daily struggle. But you guys, and obviously my family, just keep me going. So in with our white sinker. Just going to add a few drops to the yellow and the red. Sorry if this is boring anyone or if it's shocking anyone. Again, it's the journey of the channel. It's not all been an easy ride that some people may think. I've had some incredible hate comments. A lot of them get filtered out now because I've got certain keywords that automatically filter out certain comments. There were doubters, there were haters. If you follow me on other platforms, you'll see now that I flipped those hate comments into a bit of fun, because everybody's entitled to an opinion. Everybody's entitled to say what they want to say, whether they say it in a very horrible way or not. I just flip it, because things like that used to really get to me, and they would make my day not worth functioning at all. I would take it to heart, and it would shut me down completely. You know, it's, some of you, I've seen comments from before when you've read comments on certain videos and you've said, this is why I don't want to do what you're doing, because I couldn't cope with it. But this is why you should be doing it. This is why you should be pushing yourself to do things like this. I mean, looking back at this, the first video that you saw on my channel, you will see how supportive this community is. How many lovely people are in the comments of the videos. Yes, you're going to get some haters, but they're jealous. They're jealous because they can't make that step. They want to put that fear into you because they are jealous. They can't make the step. So their job is to make everybody else feel as miserable as they are. Flip it, you know, flip it and turn that into a positive. It can be hard, but you just have to do it. And the more you do it, and the more positive you get, more positive. Can't get my words out. You get more positive comments than what you do negative. And just by keep showing up, you'll find that you get better at what you're doing. You improve on what you're doing, even down to editing. Some of my videos before, they were really long-winded, and you learn that, you know, you can skip, you can cut that down, you can make it, you can simplify it. I haven't done that very well with this video. But you get better at it, and the more you do something, the better you get, and that's how you kind of grow. And it's with those positive people in the community that push you, that, you know, I love every single one of you. You're all incredible. Again, I wouldn't be here now doing this if it wasn't for you. I've just realized we've hit 22 minutes and I could have done this in much quicker time. So yes, we will be back in 1 hour for the stir. So it's been just under an hour. I kind of watched that back because I'm still not sure whether to upload it or not. And I don't want the whole video to come across as doomy and gloomy. I know it's all depressing stuff, but again, there's the positive side to it. It's a celebration in a way, because, you know, we all go through loss and stuff, and it's crazy how that impacts our life and how we kind of deal and cope with it. Some people can deal with things a lot easier than others. I mean, when I lost my mum, within, I think, around 3 years, I then lost my brother, and then during the lockdown, I lost my granddad. So in a short space of time, kind of, it was like boom, boom, boom. You know, it's and how we cope with things, we're all different. But it's crazy to think that, you know, a lot of people have to deal with that alone and without talking about it, and they still have to go to work. They still have to, you know, put food on their kids' tables and be a parent, or, you know, be a partner. It's I don't want this video to come across as being a negative thing about us hitting 100k on the channel. I just want to touch on the journey that this channel has gone through. Like I said, from where I was to where I am now, and how the channel has kind of grown, and the difficult stuff that goes alongside it. Yeah. I don't want you viewers thinking, oh, you know, I don't want to suggest to Dan to try certain things now because I don't want to add to any pressure. I mean, feel free to, please. I mean, that's what this channel and this community we've built is all about. You know, there's things that you've taught me through just reading your comments, or, you know, other channels have tagged me and I've seen how they've done things. It's really important, and I want that to continue. Don't think that you're adding to any kind of pressure at all. That's what we're here for. It's all, you know, it's all been dealt with, apart from obviously the things that you can't just get rid of, can you? It's always going to be there. But again, it's just a reflection. That's all this is about. I'm in a much better headspace than what I was back then. So I'm just drawing up my flames now. So you want the consistency. It's a little bit stringy. I think I may be a little bit too early. As always, massive shout out to my channel members, anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks. All my subscribers, of course. Anyone new. I hope I haven't scared you off. So yes, hopefully by the time I pop these bad boys out, we've hit that milestone and that journey has been worth it. Every single moment of it. And this is important as well. I look at things, you know, as hard as things have been. My upbringing, again, you know, some people have probably had it worse. I was never in a stable environment as a kid growing up. In and out of several care homes. Never really, you know, nothing was ever really easy. My mum suffered with paranoid schizophrenia, and she was in and out of mental hospitals through most of my childhood. She also struggled with addiction. And that's why it was so hard when I lost her, because she was kind of, she'd worked through all of her issues, and, you know, and she was on the other side of it finally. And then we kind of started to rebuild what we didn't have. And that was the hard part, is that we didn't really get much time to do that, I suppose. But what was I saying? Yeah, all of these things, I've always looked at it, even through, you know, growing up and those issues, is that I wouldn't be who I am if I hadn't lived through that. Okay, it wasn't easy, it wasn't nice, but it's made me who I am. It's added, like, you know, some people have got a really solid brick wall, haven't they, that it's hard to get to know somebody, because you never really know what that person's been through, but they build that wall for a reason, and that's what gives them the strength. And I think, again, you know, we all deal with things in different ways, but things like that do make us who we are. And if I could go back and change anything, I don't think I would. If anything, I'd help those that needed help, and change things that way, I suppose. But anyway, let's carry on. So, do I add black? This is what I didn't do in those first videos. I think I'm going to add black to one heart and one of the flames. Just my black alcohol ink, and I'm just going to drop that all over the back of two of the pieces, and I will see you for the exciting part. Okay, it is Saturday. What is the date? The hand's covering, and I've lost all track of time and dates. Saturday, the 1st of June. Pinching a punch for the first day of the month, so they say. So I woke up to a happy surprise. We hit 100k overnight. I didn't sleep very well because I knew it was coming, and I really wanted the transition from 99,999 to 100,000, but I just couldn't stay awake last night. So by the time I checked, I think it was around 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, I woke up again and it had tipped over the 100k. So absolutely incredible. Thank you very much. You've probably seen some posts around me thanking everybody again. Yeah, it's just such a huge milestone. Again, you know, this journey, our journey together on the channel as well, because many of you have been involved. So yeah, a huge thank you to you all. I'm sorry about the long-winded, kind of depressing story behind how, you know, we've gone from there to here, but it is important to talk about. It's really important to talk about. And just, yeah, thank you to everyone for believing in me. Even if, of course, you didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, you still encouraged me to continue and improve myself. And, you know, I really can't thank you enough. And especially my family, Mrs. Cooper, you know, rescued me from a very, very dark place. And she's put up with a lot, and so have the kids. So, shall we see what we have got? I don't think they're going to be anything like that first video. Things change slightly, ingredients change slightly. The formula, the collab resin, obviously it only has my name on the box now because it was the original formula that we used, not for this video, but videos moving forward. Lex Resin changed the formula, but they agreed to keep this particular formula, but make it a collab resin just for us Petri artists. So thanks again, Lex Resin. Now, you probably saw a couple of edits throughout the video. I kind of went into not a rant as such, but there's some things that I can't talk about, and no matter how I try and word it, it's kind of difficult because the legal things behind it. But there have been some issues with some larger channels kind of trying to place me in a shadow at the beginning. And even recently, up to last year, a bigger channel did something really, really shocking. I'm not allowed to talk about it. And I shouldn't have even said that, but I wanted to explain why there were certain cuts in parts of the video. That's because obviously I wanted to say these things, but it's stupid for me. So that's why some cuts may not make sense, but I tried my best. But just a message to those channels, because you probably are watching this video, because I know you do. Karma is a bitch. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, on to the job at hand. Right, where should we start? I'm going to start with this one, because I'm not too happy with the flames on the back. They look a little bit dodgy. But the front side looks absolutely stunning. I was really worried. I thought I've put so much. It kind of drained me a little bit yesterday filming that and talking about it again, because again I don't really talk about it, not even to my family, and it can drain you. It just sucks everything out. So I was worried that these were going to be awful, but of course it's more about the journey than the results anyway. But there you go. Absolutely stunning. Loving that. Let's go. I think I'm gonna go with the black heart, because if anything has gone wrong, I won't leave that one till last. I'll leave that one till last instead, because I'm worried that the black might have kind of destroyed the colour, because I went in for the stir a little bit earlier than the 1 hour, and what that can do is by adding the black, it can slightly lift the colour or muddy them if that alcohol hasn't evaporated properly. But as always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment. If you haven't subbed, hit that button for me. There's a new milestone now. I don't know what that's going to be, but it's okay. Maybe I shouldn't have gone with the black, but I had to try it, didn't I? I don't know, actually. Maybe some gold flake could have been a good idea. That could be the next the next milestone video. Do the flames again, but with gold or something. Right, so I don't know what one to go for now. Should we do both at the same time? Should we just do both at the same time? No, I don't do that. We don't do that on this channel. Save that one till last. Let's see. Yeah, it's cute. I like it. I like the negative space as well. I didn't have that when I did that first video, but it's quite nice. Right, sorry again about the... I just worry that it may have been perceived in a negative way, if that's how you want to say it. It's a celebration, you know. That's all it's about, you know. And a thank you to you guys for pushing me. Otherwise, I'd still be rocking in the corner, drinking. Oh yeah, you may have wondered how long has it been since I had my last drink. It's been 18 months. But yeah, and hopefully this video could help other people. You never know. It could inspire and help other people to make changes, or to, I don't know. Let's just flip this and see what we've got. I like it. I'm not too keen on the patches of black there, but it's got balance. I think it's got the contrast. It's got nice detail. The flames are there. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Right. Massive thank you again to everyone. And I will see you for the next one. Bye for now. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. Thanks for those who subscribed already. Sorry for the shaking and bad equipment. I'll get used to it. I'll get some better stuff moving forward. Just bear with me. It's all new to me. I've only been using resin now for about 9 or 10 weeks coming up. So it's been a pretty fast roller coaster to begin with, but I'll get there in the end.